Are you struggling for consistency in your sim racing? Does your iRating look like a roller coaster? If so, we have good news for you. The way to get more consistent is to first understand what you're doing differently than the professionals. And VRS is the answer. With our competitive subscription, you will have the telemetry, setups, tutorials, and everything else you need to fully analyze your driving. Our data packs and the ability to compare your driving with the best in the world will show you exactly where to adjust your inputs, change your driving line, and shave seconds off of your lap times. And our powerful and precise Direct Force Pro wheelbase and precision pedals are being used by some of the world's best drivers. All these champions agree that VRS hardware is not just the best on the market, it's also priced well below the competition. So if you're looking to upgrade to direct drive and the best pedals in sim racing, VRS is your answer. If you want to get better, get faster, and make it happen sooner rather than later, you owe it to yourself to find out why so many people are switching to VRS. You'll be so glad that you did. Visit www.virtualracingschool.com and learn why the best use VRS.
Hello and welcome to the late Apex. Today we have plenty of news when it comes to Le Mans Ultimate, as well as, of course, updating when it comes to Apex Racing Team with various series that we've been taking part in over the past 7 days. Cube Controls news, RaceRoom news, MotoGP 25 rules, NASCAR news as well. So yeah, plenty to go through in today's episode. Hopefully you're all well. My name is Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside me is David Sampson.
Hello.
David, how are you feeling? We've got plenty of stuff to talk about today.
Yeah, obviously we apexed a little late today.
Yeah. A new issue that we've discovered. But only 6 minutes late, which is on time for us.
It's not bad for us.
Yeah.
Yes. If it had just been us two here, it would have been probably 26.
Oh, yeah, we would have given up by now. Yeah. Yeah. Better luck next week.
Yes, I am doing well. Yeah, it's been a good week. Obviously, I'm itching to talk about certain things. But yeah, no, it's been a good week. It's been driving other sims.
Yeah.
You know, that's a strange situation for myself to find myself in, other than the usual. Well, I suppose this was an update, but I find myself really enjoying it. So I suppose it's our first story, right? You know a bit more about the takeover than me, so I'll let you cover it.
Yes. Well, of course, actually, I'll quickly give a quick word as well to our sponsor for this episode, which is the Apex Racing Academy Sebring 2.4 hours. So if you're looking to get some preparation for Sebring 12 hours, do take part in the ARA Sebring 2.4. It's broadcast by us from the Apex Racing TV esports studio, so you can check out apexracingleague.com to sign up. It is free to enter. So on in 3 weeks' time, a few days before the Sebring 12 hours. So do check out that.
We'll be covering it, me and you.
We'll be covering it.
Oh, bam!
Yep.
That's gonna be a race.
It should be very good. But yes, Motorsport Games, they will be taking full ownership of Studio 397. Now, everyone will be thinking, what? Don't they already own Studio 397?
When I first read this, I thought.
But it seems like because of the various economic difficulties that they've had, I guess, or financial issues that they've had, they've never actually paid the full fee. So Studio 397 used to be owned by Luminous International. The takeover was announced in 2021, but the payment never all went through. So according to Traction's article, 600 grand was yet to be paid. Apparently that's gone up by 300 grand in interest as well. So apparently 750 grand. I know that doesn't add up, but apparently 750 grand is going to be paid across 5 installments by the 3rd of July. So Studio 397 will be completely owned by Motorsport Games. So anyone hoping that Motorsport Games were going to suddenly disappear off the face of the planet, they still do have £750,000 to complete this acquisition.
Yeah. Obviously, I think I'm not sure if this is because of a time constraint or because things are picking up that they now have the capital.
Well, I mean, they did lose like 2.6 million, didn't they, in like the last quarter? So I think it's probably just like their interest rate, I guess, maybe was going to go up or something.
Maybe,
perhaps.
Yeah. I personally, I'd have paid it had the interest accrued to 300 grand. I'd be like, okay, but let's just sort this out.
Yeah.
My wife would be, it should be all over me. 300 grand in interest.
Yeah. You've lost 5 million in the last. Why didn't you pay it 3 years ago?
Yeah. Obviously, they're seeing a tremendous spike in the last couple of days with the release of the PECC, which gives us the Mustang GT3, the Aston Martin GT3, the Porsche GT3, tyre model tweak. We're getting alternate track layouts, which have been. You know me, I'm never really a fan, but we got one of my favourite alts, and I rarely say that. The Fuji, no nonsense chicane version.
Okay, sure.
Which I like. So that's been fun to race. Le Mans without any chicanes. The old school Le Mans, which is, I mean, I jumped in with the intention of testing all the cars and all the tracks, blah, blah, blah. Nope. I just kept doing Le Mans with no chicanes for the first 3 hours. Fantastic. Makes for really good racing. But yeah, it's a blast. The Ford Mustang being free, which is I feel like almost iRacing's latest 2 GT3s that were super popular, not the Acura, Ford and McLaren, are the ones that are free in Le Mans Ultimate. I feel that.
Do you think they've missed a trick, or do you think that was a good idea?
I think that was a good idea because it's almost that psychological side that I've just recently bought this car.
Sure.
Yeah, they've positioned themselves to make people pay for something like the Aston Martin, which is, you know, no sim has the latest. Someone mentioned to me that it can't be RaceRoom.
RaceRoom have a lot
AMS,
of content,
maybe.
though.
Someone mentioned another sim has it. Maybe it's AMS2. everyone's going to buy a Porsche. It's historic. So yeah, I think they positioned it well. But it's just been so fun to. I've been saying it's been fun, but I keep going back to iRacing. But man, it's been fun. We hit 30. There was 36 splits in a race. The average I was doing all week were say 17 to 19 splits. Yeah, it's fun. Like, it's really fun.
Sorry, I didn't want to show that. There you go. Here's the Steam chart, and it's really gone up. They had good numbers sorts of around December when the GT3s came initially. They went from sort of mid-hundreds to over 2K. That stayed pretty steady, so around 1,500.
That first, obviously, is the starting bit, the first beginning there, that's the release. The second bump is the IRL 20, the IRL Le Mans race. Then the next packs just lie up to each pack. So that was with the hypercars.
Like the Italia pack or whatever it's called,
exactly. And then as you can see, GT3s definitely not only gave it a bump, but give it sustained. And then, this latest push, it topped ACC on the day for concurrent. Now that might mean not a lot to people, but ACC is the competitive crown holder on Steam, right? If you're looking for daily competitive racing on Steam, well, I'm staying focused here. ACC wins. Obviously, AC beats them on numbers, but that's just people going sideways through the mud and racing lawnmowers and all that good stuff. But yeah, the tyre model tweaks, it's too early to say. I keep getting that question, are the tyres better? And I answer, I have no idea.
Sure.
You need time, the thermal degradation, how they feel over a stint, how they follow in dirt. Yeah,
I guess you're not doing a full race stint as well.
Yeah, exactly. So. It's really difficult. And I hear this, people sometimes say, they're much grippier, which is better. Well, I don't. They're more grip. I don't know. Is more grippier better? Is more thermal degradation better? It's difficult to judge. You need time for this to mature out to something. I feel like the slip angle in the Porsche is a little high. That's my personal opinion. I tested all the cars quite a bit. Didn't really, as an iRacer, I couldn't. It felt way too big. It felt strange in the Porsche. The Ford, I think it might be my favourite car to drive at the moment. Across all sims, I'm just hooked. It's all I think about. It's all I've been racing for the whole week.
That's a good feeling. It's a good feeling.
It is, yeah.
What do you think? Have you been driving Bahrain, and have you been driving the endurance layout or the Alta layout?
Outer.
The Alta layout.
Yeah, and I find myself, I haven't jumped into Bahrain in a long time without it being night, because it is such a good looking track at night.
That was one of the great calls in terms of making Bahrain night racing, because the scenery, there is no scenery, there's no fans.
Yep.
It's in the middle of a desert.
Yep.
And when it's dark, you can't see any of that. It's brilliant.
It is a spectacular track. I like the outer track. I say you got the endurance, the outer, another one, and then the main. But I think this is the trick we said. They need to add historic WEC tracks and alternate layouts, and then they can lean on the letter of their law on their license. If they get themselves Qatar, Silverstone, we've mentioned a few where they've been in the past, and the alternate layouts, they can, they can stretch it and have more diverse feeling content. I hope we get ELMS. I keep saying it so they add it and they hear it.
What's on the ELMS schedule? I feel like Red Bull Ring is on the ELMS schedule.
Well, it also gets the LMP3, right?
I get LMP3, and I guess more GT3s. Are there more GT3s than that? I don't know.
Not sure. But I'd love to see ELMS added. Well, an ALMS, right? I forget the format of ALMS, but it's another license possibility.
Barcelona, Paul Ricard, Silverstone and Portimao would all be added if they did ELMS.
Well, I'll keep bugging them till they do.
Yep.
Because, I'm enjoying myself. And it's good. Like, the last time we saw iRacing get this sort of competition, when all these games were being announced, we had Rensport, Le Mans Ultra, everything was picking up. The virtual Le Mans 24 must have been a bit scary for iRacing, because they've always felt like they had Verstappen and all this culture in the back pocket. They go from everything being fine, losing Le Mans, and then this magical event with Max Verstappen, Baldwin, all the ACC pros, and then obviously the rise of, all right, perhaps not the rise of Rensport, but they didn't know that when Rennsport was picking up.
Yeah, and Rennsport's big thing was esports, right? And that's iRacing's.
Yeah, they stole PECC PECC Germany.
Yeah.
Obviously, the ESL event. We've got them in the Esports World Cup. So we saw the big push for finally rain. We saw iRacing really stepping it up. So again, I want people to understand that this is a good thing if you're an iRacing fan. It's a good thing if you're a Le Mans Ultimate fan. It's a really good thing if you just love sim racing.
Yeah.
Because we finally have competition in this space again. Because I'm starting to get this vibe of AC Evo a little bit. That I don't think it's going to be like LMU and iRacing. I think we're going to stop talking about it. They are going to go for the AC audience. They're too tempted. Yeah. Of course they are, because when they sit down at the boardroom there, they're like, okay, so where's the money? Well, it's that side. Yeah. There's no money in that side.
Yeah, that's 99% of all people who might buy our game. So yeah, we're going to go for the 99%.
Yeah, those guys only race Spa, Daytona. Yeah. Those guys will race your lawnmowers if you sell them.
Oh yeah, and those guys will complain literally about anything that you ever do. Like, you make a change and they'll complain that it's worse than it was before. So
yeah. No, so it's exciting times, but I've had time to think about it all. The most impressive thing Le Mans Ultimate has done it's this change in attitude from the public now, whether it be social media, Steam reviews. What do you mean mostly positive? This is Motorsport Games. Like,
yeah.
So they've done something. Obviously, I have noticed a trend of them referring to themselves as Studio 397.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Even the head guy, what's his name?
I know who you're talking about, yeah.
He says, we are Studio 397. That was a good pivot, because we all love Studio 397. The name will come to me. Stephen Hood. Thank you, Logie. Obviously, hello to everyone in chat. Hello, Cash. Hello, Logie. Hello, Teague. Hello, Slasted. Hello, Logie. Hey.
Yeah, Slasted saying or asking, will Apex support LMU in future? Perhaps so. When it comes to, of course, ARL and ARTV and maybe Apex Racing Team as well. Certainly, if there was a virtual Le Mans, Apex Racing Team would very much want to be.
To be clear,
involved.
If it's up to me and Sam, yes. The answer is yes. We'll be hosting one tomorrow, won't we?
Well, I mean, technically, we could host an ARL league there tomorrow.
Should we do it tomorrow?
But I don't know. I don't know enough about it.
Correct.
To be honest.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know how to work the cameras.
I'm not sure if you can do overlays as well. I know that you got the WEC overlay inbuilt. I'm not sure if you can take that away, and I guess you can take it away.
No, they've given it as a browser source.
Okay, but can you create your own custom one?
I don't think so.
Sure.
Well, yes, because it's R-Factor, right? So you can. Yeah, you can. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll work it all out tomorrow.
Cool. Yeah. So watch this space.
Yeah, watch this space. But I think that wraps up everything Le Mans Ultimate. Yeah, we've got the next big update, I suppose, May, with the few things they missed in this update: driver swaps, liveries.
Yeah, Qatar's coming in that one.
And we just want to hear the word. They're telling us driver swaps, but what for? Tell us what for. Are they 6 hours? Are we getting the WEC races? Are we getting the 8-hour races? Are we getting the 24 Le Mans? Tell us. Yes. Oh, and on a personal note, a shout out to Gibbo. David Gibbo is the new community manager for Le Mans.
Cool. Yep.
Yeah, so
he'll do well.
So I can keep shouting the words ELMS to him.
Sure.
Which I have done loads. Yeah.
Do you think he? Yeah. Does we'll see how much he can push it. I'd like to see, because they've done one poll already, and I guess that will be part of his role, is in terms of engaging with the community, asking what they want. So yeah, when that happens, David will all be sending you emails to vote for ELMS.
Yes.
Let's talk about RaceRoom next. Just an interesting one. I of course I run ARL on the most part, and so I'm always interested in like race formats and sort of the competition side of different racing. And RaceRoom have done something quite interesting, because they've created a Race of Champions inspired circuit. So anyone who's watched Race of Champions, the common theme always is that it's a 1v1 race, and you've got a circuit where you start on 2 different points, and you have to complete basically one lap of this entire circuit, and then you cross the line.
Yeah.
Often
We've seen
other
lots
way.
of F1 drivers do it in the past, right?
Vettel does it every year. Schumacher's done it in the past. So yeah, it's quite a cool concept. And they've done their own version of that circuit. It's not released yet, but part of their February Fun Fest, they've got a track called Twin Forest, which sort of delivers on this. Again, really, apart from these little images that we've got, we don't really know a whole lot about that. But the developers claim it is designed for intense 1v1 battles. This is from Traction.
We're going to have to do that on an episode. Me v you. Just
Yeah?
clamp a G29 to the desk. Doesn't got anything too serious.
Yeah.
I mean,
We've
I'll
got
bring
two
a
screens
DD.
here.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
could be good. I think if you had, I was thinking how you could use this. If you had the PESC season and midway through the season, you know how they did that one-off heat race?
Yeah.
Imagine if you had a race where you had the first place driver in PESC go up against the 30th and you had like a seeding process.
And a 1v1.
1v1, and then you go through into the quarterfinals, then the semi-finals, and then it comes down to, I don't know, McCohen versus Job on that last. Like, that would be cool, right? I think that would be, we're always complaining about, is sim racing entertaining enough? I think particularly at the pro level, you're talking about such small margins and such pressure that I think that type of racing would be awesome.
Yeah, no, it would be. Yeah, that would be awesome to watch.
In moderation.
They definitely are experimenting. Like you said, they did I feel under the pressure from ESL, they wanted to liven up the show, and they added that weird, was it 2-lap race at the Glen? What was the mid-season race last year?
Yeah, it was like the heat format, wasn't it? Where it was like 4 heats, 2 semi-finals and a final.
But the races were really short.
Yeah, like 5 laps, I think. But this was on Watkins Glen NASCAR.
The oval,
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, really weird. It was carnage, though, wasn't it? It was absolute carnage from it, but fun.
Some drivers did. I think Alejandro may have won the whole event. It was one of them where you could literally get no points or all the points, and it would come down to slim margins.
Wait, Le Mans Ultimate is in chat. That is
well,
Gibbo.
unless that is
No, that's Gibbo.
I assume that's. But
what a
yeah,
legend.
welcome.
But yeah, so I'll touch on RaceRoom. It got this. I know we've mentioned it, but it goes so unnoticed. It had some quality of life improvements recently with regards to graphics, lighting, the range of GT3s. Obviously, I mean, what do they call them? They don't call them GT3s in this game. They call them
Like DTM cars,
DTM
right?
cars. But obviously GT3s, i.e., IMSA, LM GT3s, and DTMs. Unfortunately, the era we live in, it's a speck and a bop. Yeah. But that's good. That's why we have lots of racing at the moment. It is indeed. Welcome, mate. You got a shout out on the show.
Yeah. You're doing your job well.
Yeah.
Also for RaceRoom, so yeah, I think there's more news about RaceRoom. They sort of every quarter they host like an event where they basically release a bunch of stuff that they're working on. One of the things is Macau. There's already Macau in the game, to be fair, in RaceRoom, but they're re-updating it. So they're doing that with a lot of other circuits as well. So if you're a fan of Macau, that is definitely the best one in all of sim racing. I'm sure Assetto Corsa have their own version, but the
Probably
RaceRoom
not licensed.
Probably not licensed.
No, nothing in AC is licensed.
The RaceRoom one looks very good from the renders that I saw. It's coming free to anyone who's already bought Macau, but if you want to buy it new, it's $5.10, which is a good offer for a very long circuit.
And RaceRoom is the only free sim that nobody plays.
Yeah, but we all have an account, right?
Yes.
We're one of the 70 million user base that they can boast about.
Yeah, 100%. On the side of hardware, we'll come back to the other one in a sec. Cube Controls, SP01 Core. It's basically a more affordable option to the space age pedals they released back in 2023. I did also grab this from Traction. Reported by Thomas Harrison Lord, who's in chat sometimes. I mean, I've never used these pedals, but damn, are they good looking. Like, they didn't copy anyone else's homework. They were like, right, let's just make them look cool. But yeah, 200 kilogram load cell. Do we have price? I think we
See,
did.
729 euros.
Yeah. So yeah, these are our just
Before
aimed at,
taxes.
yeah, just a bit more budget version of the. I don't know how popular they were. They were popular in terms of making the news, making headlines. I don't know. I don't know how well the Cube controls, but because I personally don't know anyone who owns them.
Sure.
I think they were released just at the round time we had SimLab, Moza, everyone starting to
Azatec as well.
everyone started to pick up. I'm sure when this went into R&D, the original version back in, I'm sure it was a much quieter the market. They saw Hussenveld and VRS and thinking, well, they're very machined looking. Let's build something cool and take our time doing it. And then by the time it got to market, the market was flooded. But that's good. Although I keep saying this, heavy competition should drive prices down. And then I Google a rim today. It's insane.
Well, I think there's some super cheap rims though. I feel like I think there's more like I think like there's a big price range, and sometimes you do see one rim be released and another, and it's like 500 quid difference. And you're like, what's the difference between these two rims?
Yeah.
So there are some ultra,
For anyone who missed it last week, we had the Cosworth guys here, literally stood there, and they handed us 2 of their wheels, ranging from 7 to 10 grand.
Yeah.
But oh wow.
It was another level.
We had them so long that if you caught it on the live stream, they had to take them off us.
Yeah.
During the show because we kept them too long.
Yeah.
But we was kind of hoping they went home and.
Yeah, didn't quite work on that one.
No.
How rich would you need? What would need to be your net worth for you to buy? If you were a millionaire.
Yeah.
Then would that be the point where you would buy one of those Cosworth wheels? Because obviously it's all relative, right? I'm just thinking in terms of like if you were a real life racing driver, would you go for that? And you probably would if you want the best equipment possible. That is probably
I
the
liked
wheel that
it.
you'd
It
want.
was good, but how much were you paying for the word Cosworth?
Yeah, I guess.
I think if I made it to a millionaire, I probably got there through hard work and diligence and being smart. My mindset wouldn't be like.
Is that your opinion of all billionaires?
No.
Hardworking, diligent.
No. Some start with it or get lucky or win something, but I just don't think those 3 are going to happen for me.
Sure.
I don't think I'm the other kind of person who'd be like, just drop a. I have wheel rims.
Sure.
Yeah.
I think the most appealing thing in terms of the marketing is the fact that you as a customer, you almost approach them in the same way as if you had a real life car. The way that they talked about, they have like the wheel rim, but they adjust it for each car.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's bought for, and you're almost going through that same process as if you had your own GT3 team, for example, and wanted or LMP team and wanted a wheel. So, but yeah, it is a lot. Someone's asking, Slasted asking, will SDK work with LMU? Certainly at the moment there isn't a version of that, but maybe in the future. I'm not sure how easy it is to work with. I think that's the big thing with like the API and stuff. To build it.
I don't know. I don't know what I meant to say, but I'd love to see it.
Yeah,
of course. I'd love us to be broadcasting league races in LMU. I'd love our overlays to support LMU. I'd love our setups to go out. Yeah, but what can transpire in what amount of time? But if LMU keep doing what they're doing, it makes the conversation come up more often. Put it that way.
Yeah. Let's mention MotoGP 25. I realise MotoGP isn't really like a sim racing game because you can't really use a wheel and pedals, but I thought that some of the elements that they talk about when it comes to MotoGP 25 new features maybe were relevant, particularly when it comes to the F1 games. So one of the big additions is that they've got supermotos, mini bikes, and flat track motorcycles are all added.
Wait, I can get this pliable so we can talk about it.
Oh, okay.
There you go. We can now talk about it.
There you go. Yeah.
You just got to buy one of them. How does he use the keyboard optimistically? Does he have to turn right? Yeah, he turns right. Only on right-hand corners do you use the... I saw a video recently of a full GP style.
Sure.
Unbelievable. Carry on.
Well, no, I also want to say it's incredible how like he's got a crash helmet on there, not for simulation, but genuinely because he might fall off. Like he actually needs that helmet on for it to be safe. So yeah, all those bikes are in there. I think flat track motorcycles are like weird. They're the ones that you sort of like lean off the side of, but like they're really good at going around an oval. There's a good meme, a good Giovanni Giorgio meme out there. So PC is also joining crossplay. So before you had Xbox and PlayStation had crossplay, but PC now joins crossplay as well. Split screen. No, does split screen return? Or I thought it said didn't, but I've written in my notes that split screen does return.
Trust yourself.
Splits. Yeah, it does return. There you go. F1 could learn a trick. 30th of April is the release. And yeah, like, just a question, like, in terms of F1 25, I think it's shocking how F1 games still don't have the F3 cars, I think. They have F1, F2.
Yeah.
I don't think they have F3.
No,
and here you got MotoGP having MotoGP, Moto2, Moto3, Supermotos, mini bikes, flat track. Yeah. I think they might have a couple of others as well. I think that's something that really they need to do more.
Yeah, I mean, the F1 games are stuck in the old way of games where they have to build things or manufacture things or tweak things to just say it's new. Because ultimately, all they're doing is moving the drivers to appropriate teams, updating the liveries, tweaking the tracks, adding a new track maybe once every 5 years. But then they have to just do things. They have to. You have to do things to the force feedback. You can't say, oh, it's same.
You need to come up with dynamic handling optimization, stuff like that, keywords.
Yeah, so sometimes it doesn't... Yeah, they're just stuck in the past, and then you charge, again, the same price. Games like that are dying off. Like,
do you think they're dying off, though? Surely it's still hugely successful.
They're mass games. So if you know, on the games we talk about, these aren't, you know, this sells more in some country we can't spell more than the games we play globally. But yeah, I think sentiment is changing. Not on consoles. There's no other... I mean, you've got the Fortnite business model and stuff, but... yeah, I think on the PC market, it's changing rapidly.
Sure. Next up...
Project Motor Racing?
Yes, we've got a new car being announced. The Gilet Vertigo, which is a front-engined Belgian sports car from the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, they always talk about cars I have never heard. They are brave, because he always mentions iRacing and talks about iRacing and iRacing being the bar. Well, he should know in iRacing, if a car's irrelevant in real life, it dies.
Yeah, the GT1s aren't exactly...
GT1s, everyone... Ask anyone. Everyone loves driving the GT1s. Are they good cars? Yes. Do you enjoy driving them? Yes. Check iRacing. They're dead.
Yeah.
Why? Well, because they're relevant in real life. Whereas this dude is like, I'm going to build...
Yeah, like, is there a bit of arrogance, do you think?
I don't know.
Too much, like, thinking that there's a big... Ian Bell is...
Unless he's thinking of targeting the AC mod community, but giving them the licensed version. I don't know. Perhaps he's outsmarting the market, but to me, the day GTEs, there was a news article that they're coming from IMSA, it's the end, they died in iRacing. That a coincidence? They stayed around. Yeah, they stayed in ELMS. What was it called? ESS.
ESS, yeah.
ESS was around. ESS was busy. We get news articles that GT is being pulled real life. And us sim racers...
GT3, yeah.
Yeah. We take sim racing serious.
The other confirmed cars are very similar to that. The Lister Storm, which if we've ever... when we showed episodes of their development program, the Lister is always in them. And the Saleen S7R, which I don't know what that is, but I think it's very similar once again. Sort of early 2000s GT car. Also, the teaser image, which David showed before, was at Motorsport. Anyone who's familiar with Motorsport will recognise the circuit going through turn 1. And so Motorsport will be adding to the sim, along with Lime Rock and Sebring. I didn't actually realise that Lime Rock and Sebring were the other 2 confirmed circuits, but that is now the 3
So for anyone
circuits.
who doesn't know what on earth we're talking about, because it isn't the best name, it is Project Motor Racing. It is
Not the
from
best logo.
No, from Ian Bell, the guy behind Project Cars 2 and 3 and GT Revival.
What, 1 and 2?
1 and
he
2,
was
sorry.
behind. 3 he wasn't. And then, yeah, GTR, all the GTR games.
Yeah. They've gone with a farm sim engine. Now, obviously, that's a meme for another day. We've covered that a few times, but they had their own in-game engine that they abandoned to take on the farm simulator engine, which we all found funny. But yeah, I mean, the pictures he shared, lighting looks good. It's just, he has mentioned that he's using iRacing as what they hold the candle to on online racing. And when he was asked about what cars and tracks, you mentioned arrogance. The way he replied was almost like, well, you almost like try and name something that we won't have.
Sure, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, that's a lot of what Rensport was saying as well.
Yeah.
Where it's like, well, we'll just have everything. It's like, yeah, but what are you going to have first? It's like, oh, well, no, we're going to see. Well, it doesn't matter what's going to come in 10 years. You want to know what's happening in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So that is Project Motor Racing. I'm sure we'll get drip-fed more information as time goes on. NASCAR 25. We have
more details.
Did we get a release date? It's being released in the fall. I thought there was a release date confirmed. Again, I got this information from traction.gg. But yeah, so their career mode, they got a little bit more info. Basically, they've done their development diary, so they've done a few episodes. This is now episode 3 of their development diary. So if anyone's really interested in NASCAR 25, do check out. It'll go into more depth about what we're going to talk about. They've already mentioned that they're including not only the 3 main divisions of NASCAR, which is like the Cup Series, the Xfinity, and the trucks. They've also got ARCA as well, and you're very much going to be moving from ARCA up the divisions in the career mode. However, some of the screenshots that they've released very much indicate sort of the career mode there's going to be. So there is, for example, options as to what you do in the off season. So one of the options is that someone's asking, do you want to do a local park cleanup and give a 15% boost to your rep, which is your reputation?
And you have to do all the cleaning, right? It's fully simulated.
Fully. That's where all the effort's gone. Like, if you want a garbage simulator, then this is your game. Or you can pitch in at shop and have a 15% boost to your overall WP. I'm not sure what WP stands for, but those things are going to be important. You've also got cash that you're going to need. And RD levels as well, so how developed your car is, I guess. And you're going to have to manage those 4 options in your career mode. I'm a big fan of this. I think in-depth career mode, off-track stuff is it's a very good element to add.
Yeah, they're going to be doing PC and consoles. I've said it a million times, so this will be the millionth and one. And hopefully my last time I say it, my biggest worry is the forgiveness for previous years. Because they can say monster games, they can promise under new management, they can say everything, but it's the end user. You know, this game last year was awful. And it has been under Motorsport Games for, LMU fans, but they dragged this through the mud. And now, obviously, it is under new management, and this game does look good, but this is one of those games where you just buy it year on year, right? Am I right? So how many people hated last year or skipped last year or got a refund, and now they write the word new, shiny, where it is, have they been forgiven?
Yeah.
Well, these Monster Games don't need you to apologise, but the game got run through the mud. So it's hard. The franchise.
Yeah. Definitely. We've said it before, but it should have had a new name. I think would have probably helped some.
NASCAR, we're sorry.
Yeah, we're sorry. We're not the old people. We didn't do the last game.
Exactly.
25. They also mentioned that a driver's relationship with their spotter is making it feel less like a UI screen and more like an interaction between you and them. So once again, very much building up the in-depth nature of the console, of the career, sorry. And then the console release, we believe, is going to come before the PC release, like it did on World of Outlaws. But the PC release has been slated for the fall as well as console. So actually, it might not be so much of a break between the two of them.
Strange, right? Now I've just thought about the PC release of NASCAR using Monster Games as iRacing physics. A NASCAR a PC game. Their biggest competitor would be iRacing.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. On PC, it's going to do nothing, right? Because why would you have that? Well, I guess it's a lot cheaper, but yeah, the console is going to be 95% of their sales, you would think.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what the iRacing NASCAR community make of it all. Like, will it be? I don't know. I
think it'll get announced and people will be like, oh, okay, yep.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yep. But yeah, it was mentioned in the NASCAR 25 Dev Diary episode 3. It got played before the NASCAR event, so I sat through. I think it's about 5 minutes long. Yeah, it looks good, and I like all the ARCA career stuff. Let's see. Because iRacing did the big post recently about all of this to do with the partnership of Monster Games, the iRacing arcade game that's still on the horizon. I can't wait for that, by the way. And all their other ventures. People in the, let's say, in the iRacing forums were a bit annoyed. Like, why aren't you focusing on the things we're asking for? Why are you cashing out? And they replied, and it was a good reply. They were like, yeah, we're trying to generate cash so we can bring in the best of the best to fix the damn problems you won't stop going on about. So yeah, it was a good response. Basically, they're looking to, and they have been bringing in top talent to help fund everything.
So I think that's all the sim racing news covered for this week. There was plenty to go through. We've also had some events for, and also I will give a quick shout out as well, once again, to Apex Racing Academy Sebring 2.4. Once again, go to apexracingleague.com in order to sign up for our 2.4-hour events at Sebring, sponsored by Apex Racing Academy. It's free to enter. It's broadcast here from the Apex Racing TV esports studio. It was only announced a couple of hours ago, and we've already got like 10+ entries, which is good. So we might even have multiple splits, hopefully. So do check out apexracingleague.com for more details. Apex Racing Team. PECC happened on
How did it
Sunday.
go? I don't want to know about Luke and them. Like, how did you do?
Honestly, I've never been more humbled in my life, I think, in terms of like, I didn't do any practice. I did some dry weather running a few weeks ago at Oulton Park trying to get ahead of things, but then it was wet, and then I hadn't really done much practical. I'm part of another league now, and I sort of paid too much attention to that. But basically, I was just lazy, though. That's what it came down to. So I only did 20 minutes of practice, and whilst I was in practice, I was thinking, should I actually do this race? Like, the best... I'm not going to score points, and I might just like cause a collision and make enemies. But I did do it in the end, and just a few people spun, were behind me. I tried to hold them off. They got past me anyway. That was both races. I scored no points. I did actually get another 5-second penalty. Got 2 5-second penalties now. It's really bad. I feel really bad about it. Both. This one was marginal, but I did probably deserve it. So not good, just really bad. Just got no points. By far the slowest driver, stayed in 7th in the championship though. So that was good.
On to the next. Obviously, Oulton Park in the rain in a Porsche Cup isn't an easy challenge.
It was really
Especially
tough.
20 minutes practice.
Yeah, I think I am really bad in the wet though as well. At Snetterton, I was rubbish in the wet. So I think after it was the most amount of protests I believe which has ever been submitted for a PECC GP round. It was chaos. It was a good race one, though, for the people who really matter, the Apex Racing team guys. Luke McCone won race 1 ahead of Leo and Pete. It was an Apex 1-2-3. Seb Job was leading, but he had a spin, or he had a
skill
slide.
issue. I saw it. It was a major skill issue.
Through the chicane, and then because he slowed down so much, Luke sort of finished him off. no penalty for Luke. It wasn't Luke's fault. That car was going to go for at least a half spin anyway.
I saw Leo gone, mate, after that.
Yeah. Pete
lost
got
out,
dived
yeah.
by Chadwick. Chadwick got a post-race penalty because it was a really
I
silly
like
move.
Chadwick, but he was...
I don't know
that
if he
race, he was
something-
just if gap.
Both races, yeah.
Yeah.
So race 2 was just a war with Chadwick. Him and Luke had one at Duxton in the previous round, but this time I think it was against all the Apex guys, and they all got penalties. So Leo was 3rd on the road in race 2, but got demoted to 5th. Luke, I think maybe was 6th or something, got demoted to 9th. Pete, I think, was actually spun, so I don't think he was even in the points anyway. Got demoted to 11th with a 5-second penalty. I think they all did beat Chadwick because I think Chadwick got 15 seconds of penalties, so he was behind them all. So they all didn't do well. Seb won race 2 because he had a good grid position after his mistake in race 1. So he managed to win. But we are now 2nd, 3rd and 4th in the championship, at least.
I only watched PECC to watch you, so you said the main people. I only watched it because of you.
I wasn't on the broadcast, so
No, I know.
I hope not.
I didn't see you.
Yeah.
They said, what's the safety car doing now? Oh, no, it's we've cut to Sam. Okay. Oh, tough.
But I'm taking part in another series at the moment, Formula 1, which I finished 2nd in yesterday. So much fun. Pro Mazda. You can check out the broadcast on Chaz Jacob Media. Man, I hate GT cars. I think
I think most people do.
so much prefer single seaters. I think after this, I'm just like, because and also I hate the Porsche Cup because like, it's all about protecting the tires and heat and braking, and like you're using 20% brakes so that once you get to the corner, your tires aren't overheating, so that you actually have grip. And I don't know, maybe it's the same with the Pro Master as well, and I'm just going against much worse people and we're all making the same mistake. But at least I can kid myself into thinking
Pro
that
Master's
I'm
a
driving
great
all
car.
right. Yeah, I can, because I mean, again, you're overheating the tires, but it's like you're not overheating them by hitting 50% brake pressure. You're overheating them by drifting.
Yeah.
So it's so much more forgiving. I'm missing the last rounds of PECC. I know that. The rest of them, I just try to get points for 7th in the championship. That's my goal. I'm not exactly looking forward to each round, I think. But I think I'm just upset. Bathurst 12 hours also happened.
Yep.
We finished 6th overall, which was a good result. Very changeable conditions. It was a really good fight. The lead fight didn't involve us, but this really is what it came down to in the end in the lead, because before this, Redline were ahead. No, it was Drago versus the other team who were in there. And with 43 minutes to go, they managed to get the jump during the pit stop, and it was just a lot of fun. Marla, that was it. Marla versus Drago. So Marla managed to
Did you
get
see the Drago incident? He pulled a perfect 360 at the top of the mountain.
I don't think I saw that. When was that?
During the race, like early on.
Okay.
Yeah, in the rain, was over the curb, lost it, spun, 360, carried on.
Wow. That was a great... Did you see... I guess you were racing. I don't actually know how your race did, so how was it?
P3.
Wow.
Well happy. No driver errors, no mistakes, everything nailed. I know we're talking about my team here. It's crazy, right? We were chuffed. So there was the 3 of us. Joban handled the dry. Brian handled all the changeables, and I only did rain. Well, I'll tell you about that in a minute. I only did rain. Fantastic. Really good race. We capitalised in all 3 categories, I would say. Like, we were the fast, nigh on the fast and the dry. I was pretty happy that I made everyone else look so slow in the rain. And Brian didn't crash in changeable. He kept getting upset with his lap times or whatever, but it was so... We know changeable is... You can practice the rain. You can practice the dry. Changeable is that little dry line deciding how wide it will be at each corner. Really difficult. He felt a lot of pressure, but he absolutely nailed it. Yeah, it probably would have been P4, but the leaders had an incident, and they were absolutely flying the last couple of hours, catching us every lap, but we just knew if we did our thing, they couldn't catch us. It would just be a bit scary. I absolutely loved the race, man. Like, yeah, I was absolutely knackered. We were all knackered mentally, because it was it was a difficult race. But yeah, coming back to I only drove in the wet. I had only drove in the wet until the very hour and a half. There was a stint going. Jobin had been in for 3 because, well, we were trying to stay weather. Our drivers focused on weather. So Jobin did like a 3.5 hour stint in the dry. And I was like, I'll jump in. How hard can it be? Well, because I'm thinking in my head, I've been driving in the rain. All this grip, like...
Yeah.
I'll do it. It's easy. No, because I'm all of a sudden now traveling 2.5 times faster than I have been at the mountain. Trying to get... I'm in the wet, you don't want to hit a wall. In the dry, you want to skim the walls. It took me 2.5 laps, and on the 3rd lap, I saw my delta. I was like... And then I remembered we had this Alpha Esports trying to catch us. I had to pick up. So, I loved the challenge, but I should have practiced.
Sure.
I should have done an hour.
But even like getting into the car after you've driven in the wet, you always need to quit the session, do some laps in the dry.
Correct. That's what I should have done.
And then,
But I was like, been driving in the rain.
Yeah.
Grip. Oh no, wonder what I'll do.
The fact that everything's coming at me twice the speed. Yeah, that won't be an issue whatsoever. Hey.
Exactly. But no, I loved the event. It was a lot of rain though. 5.5 hours of 5 and a bit. It was a lot.
How many times did you have to swap from dries to wets or wets to dries?
I can't remember. I did quali in the wet. T1. We lost a few drivers. Basically, Ollie was in the race. We lost him. I avoided it all, but got a cone stuck under my car for about 3. I was 2 laps away from giving up because on the straight I had nothing and no acceleration up the mountain. The rest coming down the mountain was fine, but then all of a sudden, lap 4, I see the cone leave my car, and we had to recover a couple of positions. A bit of time loss. I can't remember how many times wet to dry, mate. Sorry, I'm trying to think about it. It was long. It was tedious race.
Did you see the start of the top split? Because I wasn't sure what was going on, but Marla had like a 50-second lead after an hour. Because I think it started off wet, but they started on the slicks. But I think it started off wet, but it dried out, so they went back. So most drivers started on the wets because of the wet circuit. Then it dried out, so they changed to dries, and then like half an hour in, it started raining again. So I think there are some top teams who had done 2 pit stops within like 40 minutes of the race. And I think meanwhile Marla were just on the dries for the entire time. And they were miles ahead. But I'm not entirely sure what the situation was. But yeah, they were comfortably ahead in the early stages. And I think that caused some big gaps.
I will say, iRacing does need to work on this because the session for qualifying, when the track was damp, there was no visibility of water. None. Like, I checked other people's streams.
Was it dark at that point?
Yep.
Yeah.
But the headlights were bright enough. The track was bone dry. You could hear the water.
Sure.
Just couldn't see it. And it made qualifying really challenging because you had to drive to the limits that you knew were there, not that you could see was there. Like, you would come up to the corner and your brain is telling you to open it up because it's dry. But it was not. Yeah, if you broke offline, you could hear the water under brakes. Rest of the race was fine, but there's something they do need to sort. And it wasn't just me. All of the team members had it. I checked other streams. I tried to... It was really bad because it wasn't raining. It was a saturated, wet track, but you just couldn't see it. You could just hear it.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely the graphics elements of the rain is what they need to improve more than the physics. So yeah, that was Bathurst 12 hours. Hopefully everyone who raced in that had a good time in it. Apex Racing Academy. We've got a couple new Academy drivers who are joining the team. We had our trials back in January, and the drivers who did well from that and went through an interview process and all that. And we've got a few who are being added to the team.
Are we naming them all now?
Academy team.
Have we got permission?
We haven't got permission to name them all
okay.
now. We've got permission to name one.
Because he's been announced.
Because he's been announced. Nikolai Pedersen is joining us. A former driver, I think, in Apex Racing Academy Porsche Cup. And yes, he is joining. And that is the car that he'll be focusing on, the Porsche Cup.
Nice.
So really good luck to him. when it comes to that. It's a very good opportunity. And of course, yeah, for those who aren't aware, Apex Racing Academy is not only it's sort of two separate entities. We've got our Academy service, which is driver tuition, but then Apex Racing Academy team is like the B team for Apex Racing team. And the plan is you join the Academy, you do well, like someone like Leo Gariboli, for example, and you get into the main team.
So what did I do wrong? Am I just staying in the Academy forever?
You are getting
Because I've seen a lot of drivers come and go.
I think you need to take a bit more of an initiative. You need to go to Alex and say,
I want to wear blue.
I want to wear blue.
I'm allergic to green.
Yeah. Where's my contract? And then he'll say, well, you get to do 5 data packs then for the Academy. And then...
I'll do the fixed sets.
Yeah.
I'll just
I mean,
approve
you still
them.
got to do track guides.
Yeah, I can do a track guide.
And everyone will be comparing your lap times compared to the VRS track guide and
I'll edit it.
all the... Okay, yeah.
I'll just edit down the straight so it looks like I'm getting
Sure.
there quicker. I'll get...
Your voice will be really high-pitched because you sped up the entire
No, on
video.
the straights I'll talk slow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it all down. I know what to do.
Apex Racing TV, we've now got 17,000 subscribers. I saw that earlier on. So I think we've had a good pickup actually in recent months. So thank you to everyone who has subscribed. And if you have yet to subscribe, please do. And we can get to
I should check I've
18.
subscribed. I'm sure I've subscribed.
Do you get all... I think you'd notice because we post a lot of broadcasts. And
You're going to get one more. I'm checking right now. Everyone's checking their phones right now.
please do.
I have my personal and then I have the YouTube account. So I'm going to check the YouTube account. I barely ever use it.
I mean, we'll take all the subscribers we can get. We had some good racing, some good moments in Apex Racing TV recently. This may have been last week, but I think I missed it. Phillip Island isn't a circuit that you tend to think of when it comes to multi-class racing, but this was some LMP3 racing in the Rick Motec Mini Mite Sports Car Challenge.
Wow, I love this track, but yeah, I can't imagine multi-class here.
As it looks like, I'm trying to see who that is that they're going around.
So yeah, 3 wide. And this sort of just continues on for like the first half lap here as well. But it does look a lot of fun in an LMP3.
Yeah.
I was racing in Formula 1 in the Pro Master round here, and that was decent fun. A bit of a draft fest. But yeah, splits in the middle here, splits in the middle again. And then going through the Honda hairpin now. And there's some ambitious moves. Some really ambitious moves. Bit of contact. But I think that pretty much went as well as one.
Yeah, I mean, I love the track. I've done a 24-hour there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What event was that?
Samsung Endurance. Back in the pandemic where there was tens of thousands of people, we hosted like a 45-team live steward 24-hour Phillip Island in GT3.
Sure, yeah.
I had teammates you've probably heard of, like Tony Kanaan.
Yeah, he's not bad, is he?
Yeah, he was up and coming there looking for a ride.
Sure.
No, it was fun. Yeah, it was fantastic. I love the track, and I still do. I think it's a good track. I really do think it makes some good racing.
Yeah, I like it, yeah. And I do camera packs for all the circuits, and it's really good to see them actually be used every now and again. This was a fantastic race. On Monday, we had the second round of Race Data AI Apex Racing League Prototype Championship, and it was a fascinating battle because in the LMP2s, it was predicted to be a 21-lap race. No, yeah, 21-lap race. So some drivers were doing 10-lap first stint, 11-lap second stint. But because of where the GTPs were, they forced the LMP2s to do an extra lap, so it turned into a 22-lap race. So most of the front runners had to drop out, who'd done 10-lap first stints. These guys were still saving fuel to make 11 laps for the second stint. And this was on the last lap between Matthew Crisp, and Aston Wilby. But Crisp was very low on fuel.
I keep getting asked why I'm not broadcasting in this review. Half-arse in all of them.
Yeah?
Yeah. I said speak to him about money, and I'll...
So this was the run to the line.
We're about to find out. Chris
Whoa.
approaching the checker flag. Wilby
Oi, oi.
did Wilby get him at the end?
Oi.
He did not get
I
him at
don't
the
think
end.
he quite
It was
did.
on. I know on
Chris
the
has
broadcast it
won
says
this
44 thousandths. It was actually 17 thousandths after 75 minutes of racing.
Was that a bit reactory there?
I think so. We had a very similar incident in Porsche Cup.
I think you
we
showed
may
it,
have
yeah,
last
yeah.
week in the rain.
No, but okay,
I think that he'll get away with.
similar. That one was aggressive. The last one, he smashed him into a wall.
Yeah.
How is that similar?
Well, I mean, it's like
Whoosh.
a block at all costs in order to keep the race win. I don't know if we'll be actually. I can see. Let's see if he.
We're going to find out if there's been a live suspension. Here we go.
It's just the right one. No, I've loaded up the wrong season. It's not good.
It doesn't matter. It's fine.
No, well, no, you've perked my interest now. Season 9.
Here we go.
Penalty sheet.
Uh-oh.
What penalties? Oh, there was only 3 penalties. There was only 1 protest. What a clean field, and it was nothing to do with that.
So it wasn't
no,
protested?
Wasn't
Okay.
protested. So we're all good.
Is it too late?
Too late.
Oh.
Yeah.
What if he backdates the Discord message, like, finds a way?
Well, I've now looked at the Google sheet, so it takes a massive gaslighting in order to say no.
If they pay me
did.
and I add it.
Well, you can't protest on behalf of other drivers.
Right. We'll
So
work out a way financially.
Yeah, get your lawyers involved. That is all the notes I had.
Yes, well done.
Yep.
Absolutely cooking today.
There was a lot to go through, eh? We didn't even need to do a tier list, and we've still...
No, last week's
for
tier
nearly
list
an
was
hour.
fun. I saw the thumbnail you made. Very good.
Yeah.
Although, do you just scrub through and look for animated moments of
Yeah.
me? Okay.
Yeah.
I assume they're not hard.
No, I mean...
You can just go to any point in the video and I'm doing this for some reason.
Well, I mean, we could just do today's one now and just upload that. But yeah, it's not exactly...
I'm Matthew Christmas in chat. I didn't mean it, mate. It was...
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I didn't say anything on stream, Matthew. I thought it was a good run to line. I think it was a victory in this guy.
I was just
He's
trying to make a
saying-
quick buck. No, hey, Matt. Oh, dear, what have I done? Yes, on the mention of what Teague just said, did you see? Our very own Tony Kanaan was announced as the
I did see that. Yeah,
team principal.
yeah.
Yeah, what a legend.
What is he doing any racing at the moment, TK? Because he took part in that oval racing series. Is that still
What did you? Is that how you did that?
ovals? Ovals. Stock car racing.
What do you call road racing? Like that? Okay, right. I think at the moment only the Porsche Brazil, like PESC in real life, but
Sure.
the endurance variant with you get 2 drivers. I think that was the last event he did. I think he's quite busy now.
Yeah.
Quite busy.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know if he would be like, you know what, Colts and Hertz or whatever. I think I'm better at Indy than you. I'm just gonna jump because he didn't do Indy that long ago, right? Yeah, he did it a few years ago, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, but no, that is cool, and yeah, I'm sure a very good driver mentor for all those young guys in the team. So yeah, that is very cool.
Yes, very cool indeed.
Do you think you might get a chance?
No,
Do you think you might be on the short list for?
I've seen how small those cars are. Like, it's insane, mate. Like, on TV, they look like F1 cars, maybe a little version. No, they're little.
Sure.
They're like, they're lower than this desk.
Sure.
It's really weird. It's a strange experience. Plus, no. I texted him the second I found out about it. Usually I know what he's announcing,
Sure.
but you can tell this one was much bigger because I didn't. Yeah, no, how cool's that?
Yeah, super cool. So best luck to him. I think that pretty much rounds us off then for today. So thank you for tuning in. We've got the Apex Racing League GT3 trophy later on from Hockenheim, round
Dry?
4 of the season, I think. It is dry
Why'd you say it like that?
because I had to think.
Oh.
There's been a lot of wet races recently.
Has been,
Next
yeah.
week in prototypes is wet. Last week in Porsche Cup was wet, and the last GT3 trophy round was wet. So it's getting more. Yeah, it's getting better now in ARL in terms of the weather. But yeah, it's dry today, but it will still be good. So do tune in for that. Of course, subscribe to the podcast on Spotify or whatever. share it to people who you think might be interested, and
Or
yeah,
whatever.
keep listening. Keep listening. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you back next time.